Now it should be on the page. I hope Angel can check it, and we are live now. So.
All right. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us for this Placemake Earth wrap-up session. We all did something to help the Earth and placemaking, so congratulations to everyone who's made it here with us. It's been a long journey. We made a lot of new friends along the way. Hopefully we learned something in our local context and from the network as well. And now we're kind of synthesizing what occurred so that we can both evaluate and add value to the projects that were completed and also help future projects and ideas and other collaborations like this as well.
Okay. Thank you again. Thank you so much for joining us. As Ryan said, this is really a important moment for us to bring all the people together and also really stream it on Facebook and show what we have done with all the projects from the Placemake Earth Challenge. I'm going to be the technical host of all the presentations. Just to explain a little bit what are we going to do. We are going to see one presentation for each project. Shortly share the screens and in little blocks. So approximately after 2 or 3 presentations, we will have also a little poll asking questions about our experiences during the Placemake Earth Challenge. So I would like to actually invite first presenter. Let me see. Monica, do you want to be the presenter for Scott to support him with pages so Scott can start?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
Right,
Monica is your, Monica is your visuals, and you can start speaking now.
I'll give a tee up, and then I'm going to let her talk a little bit about the process and how they brought it in. Hello, everybody, and welcome from sunny South Florida. Placemake SoFlo, as we call it. Had a great time and can continue to work on this project we call the Wuhan Declaration. Remarkably, for any of you who may not know, in December of 2018, in Wuhan, China, the government and the community passed a placemaking declaration declaring a goal for inclusion in planning, equity in public spaces, and a variety of empowering concepts that we all embrace. And I found that to be particularly remarkable given the governance format that operates in China. Inspired by that and the 50th year anniversary of Earth Week, an Earth Day founded by Fred Kent, our placemaking founder, we decided to extract from the Wuhan Declaration and discuss in our community what a placemaking declaration will look like for South Florida and how it will bracket into our context of climate change and the other surrounding community contexts. Along the way, Ryan introduced us to a placemaking US partner, Pontiac Holonomy Incubator. And Monica and her team have done an amazing job of helping us reach out to the community during times of COVID and discover new ways to collaborate online. This then allowed us to zoom out from our community context and to ask the world what a placemaking declaration looked like. And we had participants on online meetings from Cairo and from Singapore and here and there, and along with our local stakeholders. The process itself has been extremely intriguing, and we're still working through, because this is a long-term sort of a policy, so we're still working through all the data and getting to another session where we're going to hone in on the actual language in our local declaration. With that, I'd really like to turn it over now to Pontiac Holonomy and Monica to tell you a little bit about how and why we did what we did.
Well, I guess just a quick overview of how we go about our process is we start with a real simple vision and game plan. And these are the analog boards that we use are behind me here, and we pop these up at schools, for classrooms, for organizational leadership sessions, and then primarily we've focused on using them to activate the Phoenix Center, which is our kind of project in our downtown, which is a pretty distressed urban community, and a center that has a 6.5 acre public plaza that's been sitting vacant. And so, but we feel very comfortable in shifting them to any context, and working with South Florida group was really fun and engaging, and broadening that out to include Chattanooga. But what we find really interesting is that kids, it can be very inclusive because kids intuitively understand these shapes. And so we can include everyone from at every level in a planning process. And we just start with to try to understand the beginning of a project with, what bold steps did we take to get to this vision that we're working toward. And for the Earth Day event, we kind of thought through what it meant to be doing this placemaking declaration within the context of the pandemic, and with these global networks that offer tremendous opportunity to scale and to bring in new collaborations. And so we put those at these circular kind of tent poles, we call them, that are holding up the vision, and then our values, our supports and challenges, and then moving toward the game plan is just documenting stages and tasks, and then just pulling in different contextual articles. Everything's clickable. These sticky notes, anyone that was on our session could add a sticky note, and just from there we just went into a deep dive of what people were going through in their different communities. And we also did a little 6 thinking hats kind of exercise, which is kind of a creative, fun thing to do with groups and also with kids. And, kind of trying to consciously decide what kind of hat we're wearing at any given point, whether or not we're being creative, whether or not we're in our emotions about a situation, or judging it, thinking big picture. White hat is about facts, and the yellow hat's about the optimistic opportunities in any situation. So that's.
Yeah, thanks, Monica. And I'd just like to wrap up by saying that I think that one of the biggest takeaways we got from this, we know how important inclusion is. If you start with an equitable process, you're far more likely to have an equitable outcome. And while face-to-face meetings and human scale interaction is vital, being forced into this virtual environment opened our eyes to the fact that it is an additive to our process, that expands inclusion, is a tool, a lever bar for equity, for those folks who are procedurally challenged, who can't get to a meeting at City Hall at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because they're working, things like that, that by being able to open up space for them that's on their time and their space to interact in their community has been a very uplifting and an optimistic experience from my point of view.
Wow. Thanks so much, Scott and Monica. Your efforts to collaborate through this process were really such an amazing thing. Monica, you demonstrated your prowess, your and Jim's prowess with this mural tool, and I don't think the screen really does justice on how cool this is. So I put the link up so people can zoom in and see the depth of this document. It's like 4 dimensions, and you captured so much of the thinking of your meetings, the processes, and it's such a work of art. So thank you guys so much for that. We're going to kick it off to Catherine Pinehart, who is one of our tool providers, our experts who did a webinar leading up to the tool challenge. She's quite established in studying what is the interactions between climate resiliency and community. And so she's kind of observing your project and wanted to give a few words of encouragement and thought.
Thank you. Hi there, everyone. I was really particularly excited to hear more about this project because as a former employee of Project Proposal involved in the Wuhan Placemaking Declaration, I was part of the team that helped draft it and was there for the event where it kind of came into effect. It was a very exciting event to be a part of. It's really cool to see adapted to a climate change and a lens that is sensitive to today, whether that's COVID-19 or resilience. Because of course, I was very focused on equity and inclusion and access, but you've taken it even further and taken those lenses and refined them to the challenges that you're looking to face with climate adaptation. So I was really excited to learn more about this, and I'll definitely be looking at your link more closely with the mural.
Awesome. And then Scott, maybe you could tell just in 1 minute, what are the next steps with the Wuhan Placemaking Declaration adaptation, and how can people learn more if they want to start their own on that?
Sure. Well, it's been a challenging time, and now we have this mound of data that I am responsible to go through and begin to discern where the trends, where the arcs are, and how they compare to the original and where we want to get. That being said, is to create some draft language where we can reconvene the group and talk seriously about what words will be incorporated. All the thoughts are out there. So we have a final filtering that will be 1 or 2 more inclusive processes that Monica and I are working on. I expect, and when we do, we can use the network to announce to the world that we're coming back, and we'll hold 1 or 2 more sessions, I will say before the end of June, to get that wrapped up. In the meanwhile, I've been announcing to various stakeholders and leaders in the community that this is in the works. And I'm going to drop off just before 1 to get on a call with the Institute for Sustainable Communities about them getting involved in this as well. They reached out to me just yesterday, and that's why I got a little jammed up for this call today. But there again, they've asked to work together, not on beyond Wuhan, on heat island and climate change effects in equity challenged communities. So a lot is coming out of this. Yay.
Well, that's fantastic. Keep us posted. We're very interested to see how that continues to evolve. And thanks for all your leadership and energy. You put a lot of energy into this and brought a lot of really cool people into the process locally. So, all right, we've been to Florida, we've been to Michigan. We're going to stay in the US and visit with Tina Govan